Hey guys, Zach here. Just got back from a few-day camping expedition up in northern Arizona, and I always bring a bunch of gear with me and I put it to good use. I don't just collect for the sake of collecting, and today I want to talk about the buck hoodlum. I guess just another of many videos, and I hadn't really looked beforehand, but after I broke this one, as you can clearly see it's broken, I did a little Google search and a ton of videos are popping up with these being broken. And every one of them that I can find actually is broken in this exact spot. Basically what we have is buck had a notch taken out of the spine of the blade, and the purpose of that notch is supposedly so you could hook pots off of a hot fire and lift them off. However, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that creates a weak spot in the spine of this blade. So just like almost all, if not all the others, this particular failure was during batoning a small log, about a 4-inch log of pine, which is prevalent in northern Arizona. So nothing, nothing out of the ordinary, dead dry wood, just batoning through. I've used this on 3 or 4 different outings. As you can see, its coating's a bit worn off there. Primarily for batoning. That's what I use my large knives for. If you're going to come here and tell me that you shouldn't baton with knives and all that bullshit, you can keep it to yourself. You can dislike the video and move along. In the actual manual that comes with the little instruction pamphlet that comes with this knife, they show you drawn out little hand sketch of a fellow actually batoning with this knife, and that is one of the purposes for it. Okay, so this is not the forum for that argument. This is merely to show that if you baton with the hoodlum, probably you're going to break it. It wasn't going through nails or just pine, just dead pine, hitting with the small log, and it was doing just fine. It wasn't stuck up or anything like that. And you could see here something else that's kind of interesting. You could see there where the blade is actually flexed out, the edge is just kind of bent out, and I noticed that on a previous trip, and I thought maybe I just gotten into a knot or something. You can kind of see it there in the light, and I kind of sharpened over it a bit, try to fix it by sharpening over it, and it also existed right here at this very area right here. So when it actually did fail, that piece came out too, which I thought was kind of interesting. Look here at the grain structure for the heat treat. And the break. And then if you look at this piece, the rest of the knife, you could see there's some red, yellowy red discoloration right along here, right up near that notch. So not only is the notch a weak point in the design, which is pretty obvious, but it appears to be some sort of issue with their heat treating, either more heat being retained in here or something that's causing that discoloration. Kind of hard to get this thing to focus here. I get it here. There we go. You can kind of see. Anyway, I'm gonna hit up Buck and see. They've got their forever warranty, and see if they'll do anything for me. I don't feel that it's abuse of the knife. I wasn't hitting it with a crowbar or anything, just with a small log, batoning as they say it should be able to be used for. The problem is I don't think I really even want another one, so I guess if they get me another one I might just sell it, but I don't know if I even want another one. I can't, I had a backup with me, and luckily this time I was vehicle camping, so it wasn't a big issue, but normally I carry a backup, and I had this BK7 with me, this Becker BK7, and it finished the rest of the weekend, the next 2 days, day and a half, out doing the same tasks, batoning, chopping, splitting. Problem is it's only I believe this one's a 7-inch blade, so not quite as handy as the buck hoodlum. Buck hoodlum I think comes in around 15 inches if I'm not mistaken, so it is, the design, every bit of the design excepting this notch makes it a pretty good chopper and a great splitter. So I think I'll add to the pile of people saying that this would be a decent knife if Buck got rid of this this cooking pot notch thing there. You know, there's a lot of other ways you can get a hot pot off of a fire without having to get it with the, you know, risk giving up the integrity of your knife. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and make a little video on that and share with you guys. So if you haven't been convinced in your research already to not buy a Hoodlum, and you planned on getting one and you were going to baton with it, I would just save your money, because it's probably going to break. I'm not out there to, you know, I'm not out there trying to break the knife. I'm trying to use the knife how I would in a survival situation, a camping situation, and so on. And if it's going to break just that easy, I'm not going to have it in my kit. Especially when, you know, this is a half-priced option. Of course, this is a 7-inch knife, but half the price or under half the price, and it, you know, it did all the rest of the work that the Hoodlum did through the same log, mind you, with not a single incident, no edge deformation or anything there. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.